it's Janelle Waz, and welcome back to another episode of Waz Reviews. Now here on my channel, I feature a lot of retro games. Some have aged very gracefully and are still enjoyable even today. Others haven't stood the test of time and are really only looked upon fondly by those who grew up with them or retro game aficionados. And then there are some games that are so much a product of their time that they don't even care how dated they are. And that's Toejam and Earl. Look at this game. Could this game be any more 90s? Released in 1991, this game that follows two funky aliens through many a bright and colorful level is so unashamedly 90s that the fact that it's super dated makes it all the more endearing. I mean, look at this. You couldn't get a more 90s aesthetic if Will Smith and Jake Sisko created their own line of sweaters together. With something so unashamedly 90s as this, as well as being sci-fi, of course Toejam and Earl has a place on my channel, and I'm gonna talk about it. Hold on to your scrunchies, kids, trade those pogs, and slap those bracelets. It's Toejam and Earl on Waz Reviews.
Jam!
But before I go further, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I talk a lot about Star Trek, video games, and whatever else I feel like talking about. And if you'd like to help support the channel, consider becoming a member. Be great to have you aboard. Now, is there a plot to Toejam and Earl besides being super 90s? You bet your beanie babies there is, and if you stick around for the intro, Toejam and Earl tell it themselves amid some of the freshest beats to come out of the 90s. This short red guy with 3 legs is Toejam, and next to him is Big Rappin' Earl. They are highly funky aliens, their words, not mine, from the planet Funkatron. They like to travel the galaxy with their highly funky, ultra cool, righteous rapmaster rocketship, where they crank out extremely funky tunes to ever grace the 16-bit Genesis. After all, notice the megawatt speakers. Does the Enterprise have megawatt speakers? Or the Millennium Falcon? Or even Serenity? I don't think so. Now these funky aliens have everything going for them. They're stylin', they're rappin', and they've got a rapmaster rocket ship. But they ran into a small problem. For you see, they were cruising in their rocket one day, thumping out a funky beat, when Earl decided he was going to drive. And while the rapmaster rocket ship might have the finest sound system the funkiest aliens could ever dream of owning, it is still susceptible to asteroids. And so they crashed, chilling out on the most insane planet in the galaxy, planet Earth. And it's all thanks to Earl.
Jammin'.
Their goal is to find the 10 pieces of their rapmaster rocket ship, put it together, and jet out of here. Yep, even the intro is perhaps the most 90s thing you're going to witness anytime soon. And that's basically the game. Funky raptastic aliens crash land on Earth, and they have to collect the pieces of their rocket ship. And that's something I can appreciate about 90s gaming. Look, I love a good story in my video games, but I can also appreciate a simple premise with one goal in mind. You don't need to understand the story to have a great time with these kinds of games, and that's something that's missing in modern gaming that certainly has its place. By pressing start, you can choose to play as either Toejam or Earl, or even grab a friend for some co-op. Earl has more health and Toejam is slightly faster, but either way, you're getting the same game. Personally, I normally play as Earl, but I've been known to play as Toejam once in a while. You can also opt to play on a random world, which is what I normally pick, or a fixed world, which is the same every time. And then the game begins. While Toejam and Earl canonically crash on the planet Earth, I can assure you, it is not the same planet we're living on. No Zephram Cochrane to greet, no Carbon Creek to blend into, no Prime Directive to ignore. This is Earth, Jim, but not as we know it. Like a lot of games, you start at level 1, an island with a couple of presents, no enemies, and an elevator. Make sure you grab those presents before you leave, they'll help you on your quest. Well, there's not much else to do here for the time being, let's head into that elevator. Oh yeah! Someone call maintenance. This elevator is jammin'. Each level contains these elevators that take you up to the next level, which is basically floating land in the sky, because apparently we've terraformed Earth into space and have no need for oxygen. There are 25 different levels in this game with different terrain like grass, quicksand, and water, and various unfriendly earthlings. Your job is to strut through those levels, sneaking and running, sinking slowly into quicksand, to find pieces of the Rapmaster rocket ship located on 10 levels and showcased upon a pedestal with neon lights, beckoning you to walk up to it and collect it. These parts include everything from rocket ship windshield to... Really? One of the ship's legs? Oh, I'm sorry, forward stabilizing unit? But that righteous Rapmaster capsule? Totally radical. Now, Earth is filled with various Earthlings. Some of them are friendly, like this Carrot Man, Wizard, and even Santa Claus. And others, like the Lawnmower Man, a herd of nerds, and armed chickens, are not. It's these enemies that stand between you and rebuilding your Rapmaster rocket ship. You'll spend your time on these levels dodging everything from bees, sharks, ice cream trucks, mad scientists, and even the Boogeyman.
Art, I don't want to alarm you, but there may be a boogeyman or boogeymen in the house!
Boogie, 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 boogie.
These enemies will drain your health bar, but you can always replenish it by opening a present for some food, asking the local wizard to heal you, or even just eating food lying around. You'll also run into enemies that are more annoying than anything else. A mole that steals your presents, a tornado that can sometimes plop you over the edge. Yeah, if you fall off the edge, you'll find yourself back on the previous level and have to make your way back to the elevator. Hula girls? Yeah, try running away from a flock of bees just to stop to dance.
Aloha.
Some enemies, however, are much more insidious. Sure, that may look like a typical mailbox you can order presents from with bucks you find lying around, but inside is a beast waiting to emerge. I can't tell you how many times I've avoided mailboxes in this game because there was a strong chance of that happening. Of course, you can walk up to one and hope for the best, and sometimes you're lucky. Other times, not so much. One thing is certain, though, you will never trust a mailbox again. Pretty sure that's also illegal to impersonate a mailbox. But luckily, you don't have to face your enemies hand to hand. In fact, you can't. Instead, Earth is littered with presents of different shapes, sizes, and colors, filled with items that can either help you or harm you. Why would Total Bummer be a gift? Yeah, you can open a present that just flat out kills you. Now, some gifts include consumables like food, something I like to save up on when my health is getting low, tomatoes to defend yourself, and different kinds of wearables like shoes that can make you go faster. The Icarus wings are a personal favorite of mine, though. I always like game mechanics that allow you to fly around. There are also rocket shoes, which are a bit of a double-edged sword. They're great for covering a lot of ground quickly, but they're not very maneuverable, and I don't know how many times I ended up going off the edge of a level to land on the previous level just to fall off again. And once you've opened a present, you know exactly what's in that box. Oh, son of a! So, it's possible to open a gift that completely randomizes the gifts, undoing all the work you've done to figure out what's in what present, which results in you not knowing what the hell you're opening up. I recommend going to the Carrot Man and paying him a couple of bucks for him to tell you what's in gifts. Because once you find the randomizer, don't ever open that gift. You also have limited space to hold presents, so it's a good idea to know what gifts you're dumping to make way for better, actually helpful gifts. As you're playing, you'll notice that your health bar depletes more and more as you go through the levels and encounter more and more hostile Earthlings. And in typical video game fashion, once you deplete that bar, you die and one of your lives is used up. Use up all of them, and it's game over. You'll want to increase your ranking and health bar by exploring the levels and uncovering tiles on the map and opening presents. Watch yourself ascend the ranks of Toejam and Earl. Start the game as a mere wiener, working your way up to Doofus, Poindexter, Peanut, Dude, Bro, Homie, Rapmaster, and finally, Funk Lord.
Yeah, alright.
You'll naturally level up as you play through the game and then be treated to a nice fireworks show. But what happens if you collect all these ship pieces? Have I ever collected all the pieces before? Well, within the last week, I actually did while playing on my Sega Genesis, which means no save states. Level after level I climbed, falling down and bouncing only to rise again, and then to fall to the first level to get to the secret area for some R&R, and fall back to where I was. And finally, I found the final piece of the Rapmaster rocket ship, the awesome snowboard. And after a quick dance, Toejam climbs into the Rapmaster rocket ship, alone since Earl was on vacation the entire time. And cranking up those tunes, Toejam leaves Earth and returns to his beloved Funkatron to be greeted by his neighbors, family, and Earl and his family, where they all share a rather funky dance. The end. And that was Toejam and Earl. And I have to say, after all these years, this game is still all that and a bag of chips. I still have fun with this game. Sure, I probably have nostalgia when it comes to Toejam and Earl. After all, I did grow up playing it as a young kid in the 90s. But even as an adult, this game is never boring. Between the funky beats, the bright colors, and outlandish character designs, this really feels like a cartoon straight out of the 90s with its totally 90s charm. This game knows what it wants to be, an aesthetic based off 90s rap and hip-hop culture, and it goes all in. The game's world doesn't even need to be explained, you just accept it as a wacky version of Earth, with weird levels and plenty of odd characters. The game is also easy to pick up and learn while still being challenging. Sure, there are moments where it really screws you over, but those moments never stop me from picking it up and trying again. It even has great replay value. Sure, you can play the fixed world, or you can randomize the game for a different experience every time. I'm even willing to bet that new gamers today can appreciate Toejam and Earl. With the rise in popularity of retro gaming and a fascination with the 1990s, Toejam and Earl is both. If you like retro games, if you like the 90s, and if you like wacky sci-fi, Toejam and Earl is out of this world. So what do you think? Did you play Toejam and Earl growing up, or did you happen upon it in recent years? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Has it stood the test of time? Is it truly jammin'? And what are some of your favorite delightfully cheesy 90s games? Please, leave comments below and discuss. As always, thanks for tuning in to a funky episode of Waz Reviews. If you like what you see, why not give my video a like and subscribe to my channel? Tell your friends. Until next time...
Radar about to be jet.